How you guys doing? My name is Trevor Clark. This is AMS-430, and I will be talking tonight about transitioning from a coworker to a supervisor. Some essential things to remember when transitioning from a coworker to a supervisor is staying professional, becoming a leader, not just a manager, making boundaries, learning to delegate, and to always remember what it's like to be the employee. Staying professional is key to keeping employees on your side. Becoming power hungry or having a big ego is going to most likely make the employees resent you just because you're always on their back. And especially if they wanted that position as well, they might not be too happy with you anyways. Becoming a leader and not just a manager. John Maxwell said that a manager says go, and a leader says let's go. Anybody can become a manager. It's just a position. Not anybody can just be a leader. That's a quality that it's a soft skill that you have to do it. You want to be able to, get them to be motivated to want to do it, to show them how to do it. And a lot of employees will know that if you're willing to do it, then they'll be willing to do it too, because you're not going to want to do something. Why do something that somebody else wouldn't want to do either? Making boundaries. This means no more gossip in the break room, no having, relationships with the employees, just keeping it professional. You don't want to just mess anything up by gossip, because now you're learning things that they don't get to know. Learning to delegate. Learning to delegate might be one of the hardest ones, because personally I was a coworker and I transitioned to being a supervisor, and it was so much easier for the past 4 years that I was always told what to do, so I always did it myself. So it was very difficult for me to tell somebody else what to do, because I felt like it took longer to find somebody to do it than it would be just for me to do it myself. But one of the upper management told me that if I do it one time, they're going to expect me to do it every time. And then it's never going to get done because I'm not doing it. Remembering what it's like to be the employee, when I was doing some research, that seemed to come up the most. It's going to be weird for the first time just jumping into management, and you're not going to be doing what the employees are doing anymore. So you're going to have a hard time. They're going to have a hard time not understanding why you won't listen to them and why you're not comprehending what their problems are anymore, because you don't have those same problems. So just always keeping the employee in mind will overall have a happy employment, and happy employees make happy business. So during one of Brent's lectures, we talked about 3 different ways of promoting, and one was promoting from within. Some of the pros to promoting an employee from within is it's less expensive, there's proven loyalty, there's less training, you have a synergetic fit to the company, it'll motivate the employees, and there's a smaller risk. So less expensive to promote employees from within helps a lot in the long run. According to blog.mycorporation.com, that it can actually cost up to a half a year's salary just to bring somebody new in. You won't need to advertise. There's no intense training, showing somebody how to do everything inside the business. There's no orientation. Promoting somebody from within, you really just need to give them a basic prep and training, because they already know the company. Proven loyalty, which I guess we'll go with smaller risk. We'll talk about that as well. You have a smaller risk because of the loyalty, because someone's been there for so long that they know what they're doing. They know how everybody is. They won't just realize they don't like it and then just leave, because they've been able to handle it for X amount of years. The less training leads to a quicker turnaround, with going with less expensive as well. All you have to do is, the basic orientation, kind of show them the ropes with the management side of it. But you don't have to give them tours and let them learn the company. Like, for example, with Mr. B's, where I used to work, I didn't have to learn the menu and all that kind of stuff. I already knew what I was doing, so the only thing I actually had to learn was all the computer stuff and how to actually shut down the store at the end of the night. The synergetic fit as well. Having somebody brand new come in can be weird at first, just because you don't know who they are, and especially if they're from outside, you don't know how they are, how they act. And it's just it can make things awkward. So for the first while, you might not get that much stuff done. But having somebody that was an employee come up can definitely, it's a lot smoother in the end. Motivating employees to be more efficient with their time, because they know that there's an option that they can actually get promoted. All the employees are going to kind of have a friendly competition, I guess, that they're going to want to do the best. So by knowing that there's a chance that they can become manager or supervisor or project manager or anything, will give them more of a want to do better. But some of the challenges and disadvantages to it, I know if a lot of people are competing for the same thing and everybody's getting excited and everybody's doing so well and you don't get it, you might have jealous or upset employees, which it's natural to have it, but a lot of the times if you get multiple employees upset, then they will just they just won't work that well, and there's really nothing you can do about it at that point. You'll have a smaller pool. Having a smaller pool can work in some situations, but it's nothing that you can really do because smaller pools. You won't get anything out of it because there might only be 10 people that can do that job, especially if you're doing functional organizations where you have multiple multiple departments, and that really limits your chances of it because you don't get to pull out from everybody else, just pull out from within your own company. You can have a disruption of the workplace. When you have to start posting and people start knowing and they're just not focused on their daily job anymore because they want to be in management, it's kind of like they're going to start asking questions. They're just not going to really be focused on the job at first. But, that's just something that I guess you'll actually have to just work through yourself. You're going to have a less chance of fresh ideas as well. People have been working for the company for the same 10, 15 years. Most likely they've already tried to express new ideas for themselves and for the company. And they were employees, so you might have put them into thought, but you didn't really give it much thought. So by promoting an employee from within, they're going to want to just produce the same fresh ideas that they've been trying to give you for the past X amount of years. And there's really not much you can do to that, but overall, promoting from within and having a transition from a customer or a coworker to a supervisor, I feel worked a lot better because, for example, when I was at Mr. B's, everything just ran smoothly. I worked there for 2.5 years. I managed for the last year of it, and it just never really had a problem. But one of the hardest things I think about it was the employees knew me as an employee and their friend. But when I was management, they didn't really see me as management, and I had to be mean and I had to be a micromanager in a sense for a little while. And then it just turned into them resenting me because they didn't understand that I wasn't their friend anymore. I was their boss, which is why making boundaries and staying professional is, a huge thing to do. It works, but I think overall, just strictly hiring from within can have its challenges. And I always think that the upper management needs to keep their open mind when it comes to keeping it. Even if they want to hire from the outside, just to maybe keep it quiet, word of mouth. You don't have to spend as much money. But I think that's all I've got. So thanks, guys.